Well, today it was 64 degrees, balmy here in New York City, yet for most thinking adults who are not named Al Gore, the exact cause of this fluctuation in climate remains a little unclear. Could it be that the climate has and always will change back and forth? Or is it something more sinister, maybe something we should panic about? Lots of theories in the scientific community, but one lawmaker feels he knows best, and I bet you can't guess what state he lives in. Yeah, California. State senator there has proposed a bill that would require climate change to be a science topic for all California public school students. He also thinks it'd be totally rad, man, if the state mandated that all future science textbooks approved for California public schools included facts on global warming. In case you're keeping track at home, this is reason number 639 that I just could never live in California. Chris Horner is the author of Politically Incorrect Guide to Global Warming and Environmentalism. Chris, is it climate change that they're going for or global warming? Because if it's climate change, then they have to include the Ice Age, where the climate changed naturally. And if it's global warming, then they would need to include global cooling that we all freaked out about in 1975.
Well, the rhetoric will soon return to climate change because we are in the fourth year in a row of appreciable cooling, and the warming peaked in 1998. And I wish I could express confidence to you that that's what these schools in California will be teaching. But
Right.
I suggest it will probably be eco-fundamentalism, and we need a Scopes monkey trial to get that out of the classrooms.
And you know what? They won't even show. They say, oh, well, we'll present the other side. Really? Like intelligent design? That's not going to happen. The other side's not going to be there.
Here's how we can possibly force this, however. As you know, in the United Kingdom, that government mandated that all secondary school students be taught climate change, the alarmist perspective, Gore's movie. And the court there, the High Court, threw this out, claiming not only that all of these claims are made in the context of alarmism and exaggeration in furtherance of a political agenda, that's a quote, but they said there is at least one other view, and the schools need to tell the kids that. And guess what they called that view? The mainstream view. That is the scientific view. So maybe if they did teach climate change, that's what the kids would learn, reality.
Here's the one thing that really scares me in a way, is the path that we're going down. I don't even know if you've noticed this with SUV commercials. A lot of times the kids will say, in the commercials, Dad, I don't want to be dropped off in front of school in this bad SUV. And the father will say, well, but wait a minute, this is a hybrid. This is okay. I mean, this is indoctrination of our children. It really reeks of what the Nazis did with turn in your parents. Kids, tell us about how bad your parents are.
I'll tell you what, there's a poll taken in Great Britain recently that shows that half of all children are losing sleep because they've been indoctrinated with fear of global warming, and 15% of them are blaming their parents already. So these absurd commercials you pointed out that say, don't drop me off there in an SUV because we're going to that part of town where people ride bikes. Don't take your kids to that part of town. Yes, but you're talking about children blaming their parents for putting them in a comfortable, safer vehicle. The environmentalists actually say, well, the Model T was more fuel efficient. You couldn't put that on the road today, and if you got in a wreck, your children would die. We are making trade-offs, but changing climate isn't part of the equation.
But I'm so afraid that, again, this is an extension of the government just trying to wrap their arms around the kids and saying, no, really, we know better than your parents.
It's the latest excuse. Here's the one thing, Glenn. Nobody claims that even the Kyoto Protocol would have a detectable impact on the climate, right? But they do know it would impose a long-held policy agenda. So we know that that's what it's about. Not about the climate, it's about a policy agenda.
You got it. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate
Thanks,
it. Coming up, plagued by reckless spending and